Hey, what's up, Weeaboo Nation? It's your boy. No, listen, it's Weeaboo Wednesday. Welcome back. Yes, it's been an entire week, and I am so happy to be back with more stories about anime and video games and all this other nerdy crap to talk about. With that being said, let's cut right to the chase. I didn't have anything for you last week, but you damn sure better believe we got Gundam news. So let's start this one out right. Gundams will be launched into space in the year 2020. Yes, it's finally happening so much sooner than we thought. Though I'm terribly sorry to ruin the excitement. It's only going to be 2 Gunpla. You know, Gundam model kits. Presumably of RX-78 and Char's Red Zaku. These are of course very iconic mobile suits from the original Mobile Suit Gundam. Now, these will be equipped with special plating and paints that will be able to withstand harsh temperatures and harsh conditions, such as leaving the Earth's atmosphere. The 2 Gunpla will be launched on a miniature satellite that's only 11 inches wide. The 2 Gunpla will be held in the cockpit of the G satellite, which I can only assume stands for Gundam Satellite. And it will be launched into space to orbit the Earth during the 2020 Olympics. It will be complete with a tiny little screen as well inside that's going to broadcast an encouraging message to the athletes of the Olympics. Of course, Gundam has nothing to do with the Olympics, but it's Japan, so of course they're gonna shoot some Gundams into space. They're hosting the Olympics, and this is a big deal. They want to go all out. Be sure to be on the lookout, because it's not going to stay up forever. It's going to come down actually during the Olympics, but it'll be up there, and this is all part of the 40th anniversary of Gundam and all the little fun things that they're trying to do to celebrate it. So I'm happy to see this. It looks as if the satellite's going to open up at some point, and there will actually be a backdrop, of course, of actual space where the Gunpla are sort of posed in a way that make it look like they're flying through outer space, though of course this will just be a little trick. And I think that's cool. I mean, nobody's going to be able to beat these pictures with a better backdrop, so don't even try, guys. And that is our Gundam news. Mamoru Oshii is a famous director who's actually worked on Ghost in the Shell, among other anime series. It's been a while since he's actually worked on anything. I think actually not since 2008 has he actually worked on a project like this. But he's going to be coming back and working on something in a very big way. He's actually going to be the chief director, the story creator, and the screenwriter for his own original series. He's apparently been working on this project for 10 years, and he's going to have Ichigo Animation actually helping to fund this, so he's going to have all the creative freedom he needs to make something truly spectacular. So definitely keep your eyes open for this. You remember Aggretsuko? Of course you do. It came out last year, and it took the anime world by storm. It really introduced a lot of normie people into anime, which was very weird, because it actually got exclusivity through Netflix, of all things. It's getting a second season. Mark your calendars for June 14th, because that is when Season 2 of Aggretsuko goes live exclusively on Netflix yet again. For a while, Yokohama has hosted the PIKACHU Outbreak. Each year, tons of Pikachu will flood the streets and run around the harbor and do cute little dances of rhythmic, hypnotic waving side to side, so many pairs of ears wiggling, and those adorable, super soft looking, incredibly huggable, gigantic Pikachu will run around the city and just be plain adorable. And this year will be no different. For 1 week, starting August 6th, there will be tons of adorable Pikachu flooding the streets, dancing around, marching around, being cute and adorable, and of course driving up those sales of Pikachu dolls. There will even be special LED lit Pikachu that will actually roam around within the Museum of Art in Yokohama. The performances will start each night at around 7 p.m. This will include, of course, the Pikachu dance routine, which is going to be 50 giant Pikachu dancing around at Rinko Park. Why couldn't I hug the one in Asakusa? He was right there at the Daiso, right outside Rox 3G, and I could have went and hugged him, but I missed my opportunity. He was going back in the building, and I didn't want to be that weird foreigner chasing a Pikachu into a building and trying to hug it, so I guess there's always next year. Or maybe this year. Did you ever hear of the anime Attack on Titan? I know, it's probably very obscure. You've probably never heard of it. It's this really weird little obscure anime about attacking on some titans. No, just kidding. Of course everybody knows what Attack on Titan is. It pretty much destroyed the anime scene in America for the past 3 years or whatever the hell it's been. Well, of course, there needs to be an animation company that takes care of such a huge property, and that has typically been entrusted to WIT Studio. They've worked on it for the entirety of the project, and they are actually a small child company from some of the producers over at Production IG, which of course I don't have to introduce anybody to. They worked on Ghost in the Shell and a lot of other legendary anime. Now, it would seem there are many rumors, and credible rumors, that WIT will now be dropping the series after this 3rd season that's currently airing. That's a pretty big deal because if there's more to come, changing to another animation studio could be detrimental for Attack on Titan. Or should I call it Shingeki no Kyojin? Can you imagine if all of a sudden they changed the animation studio and they lost a lot of that grit that they have from WIT's current animation of it? That's one of the things that really drew people into Attack on Titan, was that weird, sort of very heavily lined manga aesthetic that it has. I loved it for that. I haven't kept up with it because, of course, it just got ridiculously delayed and it got so out of control with all the spin-off crap and all the garbage, but that's besides the point. If there's planned to be more anime after this 3rd season, this could be really weird going forward. Now, after all the money's come through and it became such a global phenomenon, of course, the series has actually been pretty steady ever since the 2nd season, I would say. Do you remember during the 1st season when they aired that weird repackaging of all the stuff that had happened up to a certain point? It was like episode 13A or something like that. They basically just made a filler episode where they compiled the series thus far because they apparently didn't have the money or the production to create more stuff in a timely manner. That's where they were back then. Now, of course, they've pumped out multiple seasons, and I don't think they've had any trouble since then. I mean, Hot Topic probably makes enough money for them to make 10 seasons of this damn show. So man, if they don't get down to Aaron's basement this season, God, I can't tell you what's going to happen next. Sony Interactive Entertainment has opened up a new studio called PlayStation Productions. What this is basically a production studio for them to create movies and TV series based on Sony properties. So maybe you'll finally get that Crash Bandicoot cartoon you've been looking for. No, but in all seriousness, it is a new studio that they are apparently thinking of trying to do a lot of stuff with. They've been thinking about this and really working on talking to writers and producers and stuff like that for some time to try to actually get this done. They've seen all the success that Marvel has had, and they want some of that money too. So, of course, why not start making crappy video game TV shows and movies? We don't have enough of those yet, right? This is really weird because this comes at a time when we're actually getting a lot of adaptations, and if that ramps up with Sony really jumping into the fray, I'm afraid of the future. Because despite this being a Sony-ran production studio, it's actually based out of California. And some of the names of the people that are working on this, they're not people that I know of. And I don't know if they have any real knowledge of video games and stuff like that, or any of the properties they'd be working on. Most of the time, these guys don't. They're going to work hand in hand with Hollywood and make really crappy stuff. So even in their hands, I don't know if I trust Hollywood to taint our video games with terrible series, TV shows, and movies, and all this other stuff. It's just a dangerous and messy field that we've kind of run through quite a few times, and we've never come out without bite marks and scratches and stains all over us. Maybe keep it small for now, make obscure stuff, and then if it does well and you can really gauge the fans, then you can take it off and make your Final Fantasy VII movie, because I'm sure that's what you want to do. It's so funny to see the industry finally catching up. For the longest time, people are like, those video games make more money than movies, actually. No duh, yeah, but a lot more money and time goes into making a lot of them too. So the balance is kind of weird, and it gets spread out so far that it's kind of hard to quantify what's what. But yes, of course, video games have exploded over the past couple decades, I'd say. So of course, with that, Hollywood starts rubbing those hands together and says, I want a piece of that. Let's talk about Promare, finally. This is actually an anime movie that's opening up in Japan May 24th, so this week. This is from some of the same people who have worked on One Punch Man, Kill La Kill, the Gurren Lagann movies, Dead Leaves, a lot of awesome, super strange, stylized stuff. Studio Trigger, of course, needs no introduction. I don't need to tell you guys about them. But of course, the director is also a pretty big deal too. It's this really weird, stylistic sort of CG/anime movie. And it's about basically a time where when people get like super angry or they're in really crappy situations, they just spontaneously explode and start huge fires. And of course, this is a huge problem. So a kind of odd firefighting force is employed to combat this problem. Of course, we have really cute and cool character designs, very over-the-top and strangely built anatomy characters, lots of color, lots of weird architecture and just mechs and stuff like that. All the stuff you loved about all those other series kind of comes right to the front of this. Now, mixed with some of the other trailers that they've released for this, I think it looks pretty darn dope, and I really hope that it gets expedited into production for an American release as fast as possible. There's so much about this that screams Gurren Lagann, Kill La Kill, and it's just, who doesn't love those? I'm sure there's somebody, but shut up, nobody cares. But either way, the first 5 minutes of the movie were recently uploaded, and of course there's the other trailers you can watch as well, but I'm sure that within the next month or so we'll be able to see it in some fashion thanks to the release being so soon. And that's it! That's pretty much all I had this week. I went through a lot. There was a lot of really boring and very wordy stories that I don't feel like would have translated well into me talking to the camera about them, so hopefully you liked these stories. If you did, make sure to drop a comment below and like the video because that always helps, and I really do want to continue to grow this channel so that more people can join us for Weeaboo Wednesday. Stay tuned because of course I will be releasing a figure review this Friday and maybe even an additional one because I'm trying to get more content on the channel quicker. But if you do want to watch any of the other Weeaboo Wednesdays, the news is always prevalent and you can watch that in the videos over here. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. You're awesome, but you are a dirty weeaboo, so make sure that you drink 5 cups of green tea before you go to bed, but don't pee to bed. Ski des. Bye-bye.